I'm having an existential crisis right now. Disbelief. It doesn't even come close to what I'm feeling at the moment, but it's one of the only words that I could even use that's even coming to me that could even sort of remotely describe this. But to say that my worldview has been shattered, that's an understatement. A year ago, back in 2022, McDonald's corporate, and I should say, right off the bat, they are one of those establishments, anything they say, I believe completely, without hesitation. I will believe it. Because McDonald's isn't known for cheap gimmicks. They're not known for just saying something just because it'll make some money, right? They're McDonald's, right? They don't do that. So when they say something, I listen. I listen intently. And they said in late 2022 that the McRib was going away. It was the farewell tour. It was going to be gone. And I reviewed it. I thought this is going to be the last time I'm ever going to try it. I made sure to get it. I reviewed it. The second I shut the camera off, I wept. I mean, I was almost tearing up for the entire review. I was just distraught. I thought, this is a beloved item. Sure, I hated it the last 3 or 4 years, but forget about that. This is a beloved item. McDonald's would never lie just to try to sell more of them. They're taking it away, and I wept for days. I thought it's gone forever. And then, I wake up today, check the news. What do I see? McDonald's brings back the McRib for 2023. Yeah, it's back. It's back. It's slightly more expensive than it was the last time, but forget about that because it's back. And here I am. I had to do that. I just had to go all in with the introduction like that because I hope you see how ridiculous I think that whole thing was last year. The farewell tour, right, for the McRib. It was like, give me a break. Of course it's coming back. Of course it's going to be. And sure enough, here it is, with no mention whatsoever of the farewell tour. It's as if that didn't even exist. Because of course it was just a marketing ploy, and it was just a gimmick to get you to go out and buy it, and all that. And I guess it worked to an extent. But obviously the McRib is back, and it has become somewhat of an annual tradition on this channel to try out the McRib, which is precisely what I am doing this time around. I never had a McRib until 2018, if you believe it. And the first McRib I ever had back in 2018 was my favorite. Easily. I thought it was very enjoyable. I was pleasantly surprised by it. And then subsequently, year after year, I've just reviewed it for the heck of it. It's been somewhat of a tradition. And, yeah, last year they were saying, oh, it's the farewell tour. The McRib is going to be gone for good after that. And I knew it was going to come back, and sure enough, here it is. So, the McDonald's McRib, it is back again for a limited time in late 2023. So forget about the farewell tour, now I guess it's the return tour. And what the McRib is, for those of you who don't know, is you have this pork meat, this pork patty that's sort of shaped like a rib, but there aren't any bones in there, so you're not going to shatter your teeth of anything. So it's this pork meat in a rib-like mold. Then it is coated in a tangy barbecue sauce, and it is topped with pickles and slivered onions. Put on a bun, you could eat it as you would like a long sandwich. So, price for this I paid was $6.50 for the McRib. Last year I paid, because I actually watched some of the previous review that I did, I paid $5.70 for the McRib. So that is a considerable increase to go from $5.70 to $6.50. That is a pretty steep increase. And last year, I gave it a 5.6 out of 10. There were obviously some problems with it I wasn't a fan of. We will see how it is this time around, but it is back. It has shocked the world, because everyone, of course, believed them when they said that this was the farewell tour, right? It's not like they did that once before back in the 2000s or anything, so... yeah, they meant business, all right, and somehow it's still here. There's the box, though. You can see it comes in its little... and I know I could be a little, I don't know, harsh, but sometimes when I see these ad campaigns, I can't help but poke a bit of fun at it. So you can see, though, it comes in its own special McRib box. There's the golden arches. That's the tongue. And the cucumbers with the wave. McRib right there. And opening, there it is. Looks about the same. You could see the, I was going to call it faux meat, but I guess it is actually meat. I guess you could say it's a faux rib. The sauce, the onion, the pickles. Yeah, the McRib. It's one of those items, I think generally speaking, people, they either love it or hate it. But, you know, in my case anyway, I've had a good one, and I've had a lot of bad ones. But I would be willing to wager, I'm sure they were probably better back in the day. I was trying to adjust the light. I thought it looked a little dark, but maybe that's just me. See the pickle again, the onions, the rib, the bun. And there you have it. So what I am going to do now is I'm just going to try out the McRib, take a few bites of it, give it a little bit of an assessment, and then that'll be that. See how it is this time around. So let's try it out. The McRib from McDonald's, of course, the 2023 edition. Whether the gimmick is silly or not, it's back. Let's try it out. Let's see if it's, let's see how good it is this time around. It's going in. I decided to change things up a little bit, get some Coca-Cola. Not something I usually do, but why not? So, you know, I can be, some people I'm sure will say I could be harsh against the McRib, and of course I'll just call out the issues as I see them. just like how I think the marketing gimmick is just ridiculous, but nonetheless, there's improvement. There really is. I have to be straight up. I am pleasantly surprised. Now, that's not to say that this is as good, perhaps, as it was when I had it originally in 2018, but I will say this. There is definite improvement in this McRib compared to the ones I had the last few years. The problem I had for a few years in a row now, it was essentially a twofold problem. There were issues with the McRib patty itself, in so much as I think one year it was a bit burnt, and I had this burnt flavor that came along with it, which was very unpleasant. And then in another year, it was sort of dry, maybe slightly overcooked, and the sauce, which is a key component to it, was lacking. I remember the sauce was a bit watered down, there just wasn't a lot of it, and this is one of those items where, when it is cooked correctly, when there is a sufficient balance of all the ingredients, everything could come together and make it into a quite enjoyable item, which is why it is so iconic. Even if it's not everyone's cup of tea, it obviously has a large fan base of, fervent supporters. And that's for a reason, because all the ingredients come together very nicely if the execution is correct. In the last few years, there has been problem after problem. This time around, I am pleased to say, the tanginess that was missing in previous years has returned. And the quality of the patty itself has also improved. This time around, I'm happy to say, it was not overcooked. It was not dry. It was actually tender. It was moist. It was flavorful. Yeah, obviously, look, this is McDonald's that we're talking about. This is a faux rib patty here. Of course, it's not going to be like a 5-star restaurant or anything like that. So, of course, you have to understand what it is that you're getting. But the fact is, the quality of the McRib patty itself has improved. There's a definite improvement there. It actually tastes, I kind of laugh saying this, but it's what I observe. It actually tastes a little fresher than it does, or than it did a few years ago, where it was just all tough and dry, and there really wasn't any sort of substance to it. But this time around, it's much more flavorful, a little bit more juicy. That's good. Secondly, there's more sauce on it this time around, and the sauce this time likewise seems a bit fuller, or should I say a bit thicker. There have been instances as well where I had the McRib, and the sauce was very runny. It was very thin, very runny, and I felt like they took the original sauce and diluted it with something to sort of stretch it out or be cheap or whatever. But in this case, the sauce seems a bit thicker. As a result, I feel like there's more of it, and the sauce, resultantly, is more robust, more flavorful, and it has that nice tanginess to it, that nice, of course, tangy barbecue that complements that pork very nicely. The onions are crisp. The pickles, surprisingly, the pickles actually could have been a tiny bit more flavorful. That's just the one thing, that sort of tang that the pickles provide didn't seem to be as strong as it had been in previous years. But the onions definitely had that nice sharpness as well. A good amount of them, as you could obviously see. You might have even been able to hear sort of that crispy crunch that they provided as well as I was eating it. And all in all, I'm happy to see it going in this direction. There's that improvement with the rib itself. There's more sauce on it. The sauce seems to be of slightly higher quality. It's less of a runny mess than it was the last time. And likewise, the onions are still good. The only thing that I mention, once again, is that the pickles were perhaps a little lacking this time around. But even if there's that one issue with it, everything else has improved. And that is great to see. So as a result, it's trending in the right direction again. The ad campaign was stupid. I'm just going to say that again, just for the heck of it. But the product itself is on the right track. And this is one of those things that I almost never thought I would say, but I'm happy to say it. That it's actually getting better, for once. That's good to see. Now, the price, on the other hand, has increased quite a bit, going from $5.70 to $6.50. That is one heck of an increase, and I don't like seeing that. But at least I'm paying for something that's gotten a little bit better, as opposed to just some piece of garbage, like I was worried it was going to be, so that's good to see. Again, I wish that it were a little cheaper, but the fact is the quality has gotten a bit better, and that's good to see. So last year, I gave it a 5.6 out of 10. This year, I'm going to bump up the rating to a 7.0 out of 10. Considerable improvement, I'm pleased to say. Now, if you're out there and you got the McRib, what do you notice this year? Do you think this is just a fluke? Do you think it has gotten a little bit better in the last year? What do you think? Is it the luck of the draw? Feel free to leave a comment. If you have any McRib thoughts or experiences this year, feel free to just leave a comment. I'm curious as to how things are for you. And that's all that I have for you. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm your host, The Report of the Week.